All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another trading video here. I'm just going to go over CRVS. I tried to take two trades on today. I didn't get executed on either of them, and then just kind of go over what else I was watching today since I didn't take a trade, just to kind of show where the market's at, what I was looking at. So CRVS is the first thing here, and we'll pull up E-Trade. I have these two orders. So I did try to get into it right out of the open at 9:30 and then again at 9:31. And so my 9:30 entry, I tried to get in at 8:35, and this is something I don't typically do, but I thought that CRVS was going to give us a nice run today, some continuation from yesterday. If we do zoom out a little bit here, this is just a 5-day, 1 minute, but we really spiked over these previous highs yesterday, and we were kind of pushing these, afternoon levels from yesterday, and I was really hoping for a break of $9, and I thought, the sky's the limit at that point. At least test this 950 area, and who knows where we could have gone if we got there, but we did not make it that far. But I'll just get into it real quick. So right out of the gate at the open here, I was looking for, the red to green move on it. Actually, I had my alert here at 8:45. I usually set my alerts around like 8:30, between 8 and 8:30 in the morning. So at the time, this was, well below the red to green move and still kind of struggling below VWAP. So I thought this would definitely stay below there until the open, and I was really hoping that it would, just because when we got the red to green move in pre-market and still failed to break over that $9 level and then went back red in pre-market, I was a little bit, a little nervous to kind of mess up my plan a little. I was just less confident in it, I guess I would say. And so right out of the gate here, we get a quick dip, and that's actually what I tried to buy. We dipped down to 824, as you can see up in this area, 824 and a half. And then we got a nice bounce right up to 874, almost at 875 level. So right in this first minute candle, once we got that dip in reverse, I tried to get in at 835, like I said, didn't get executed, and then we pushed through VWAP and then just ran right through that red to green level. And so I was really thinking, we're at least going to test $9. And so that's when I put in my order at 9:31 to get in at 8:55, which I missed that as well. And that actually kind of helps me, or paid off, that I didn't get executed on that one, because we got such a quick run to 874. But I mean, this is a 1 minute candle, and we go from 874 all the way back down to 826. And very quickly after, down to the 810s, and eventually down to $8 by 9:45. And this is part of the reason I usually do try to wait until 9:45 to trade. But I did have something to do for work today at 10, so I knew I wasn't going to really take a trade around 9:45 and try to get out of it at 10 o'clock. And if I would have done that, it actually would have been perfect. Excellent dip buy right here at 9:45 and sell it right before 10 o'clock. I would have almost topped it. But hey, that wasn't the plan. I wasn't going to force that. So yeah, this was a move on CRVS today. I think what happened here was we kind of, got shorts in the pre-market, probably up in this high area because it was yesterday's highs. And, we had some action there in the pre-market. And so I think we got, when we made this initial move here and then went back red, if you're a short, you're probably adding on that failed red to green move, going back red and crossing below VWAP. And you're really looking for that crack of $8, and probably, if I'm a short, I'm thinking we're red on the day, we're below VWAP, we just failed the spike, and we're probably heading down to about 7 and maybe even lower than that. Let's just zoom out a little bit here. And so you can see from the day before, I don't know why this line got pushed all the way down there. It was supposed to be at this $7 mark. But, these were the highs that we had tested in the initial run up and failed, and then almost made it to them here. And then yesterday, once we hit that $7 level and blew through it, it was just a quick move all the way up to the 950s. So that kind of resistance would then, in my mind, become support. So if I'm a short, on that move, I'd probably be looking for a crack of 8 and a push down to 7. And then I think it held up better than most people expected at this $8 level. And so now if you're shorting on this move here, and then you start retaking VWAP, well, now, you've got to cover your position so it doesn't get too bad on you. And then you've got momentum buyers coming in on the reclaim of VWAP. And then it just dried up and got stuffed again. And then that's when you get the real crack below 8, another push towards VWAP, and that time we don't get through it, and then we get that fade all the way down to $7. And that was actually a really good support level, and I was watching it here, and I actually had an order queued up. I didn't actually enter it because I am never going to put in an order if the stock's at 710 or 705 and I want to get in at 702. I was really expecting us to at least go down and touch 7, or I don't know, get down towards 701, 702, and I just wanted to watch the level 2 and see how much support we really had built up there. And we obviously didn't get all the way down to 7, and we reversed at 704 and then had a decent bounce here. You have a chance again to add into here on this pullback and just risk down on that, day low, that $7 mark from 720 is not a bad risk level there, only 20 cents a share, and then you do get a push to that 780 level. So that wouldn't have been a bad trade. Or if you bought that initial dip there as well, you could really limit your risk and then have some decent upside. And then it pretty much just chopped around the rest of the day. Below VWAP on its first red day. If we go back to this daily here, it's been on a crazy run as it is, 52-week highs and everything like that. And so on the first red day, I wasn't really going to try to dip buy it, but here's this $7 line. I'm not sure why it's not on the other view, but you can see, it did just hold up pretty perfectly there. So that was CRVS today. I did not take that. And that was kind of the theme of a lot of the things that I was watching today. They just sold off right out of the gate. I think I had 14 alerts going off within the first 5 minutes of the market opening. And by the time I was kind of done watching CRVS and went through and looked at all the alerts, pretty much everything did this same exact move, a quick spike at the open and then an immediate pullback and fail. So MRIN was another one here, which if you've been trading for the last few months, you are probably familiar with MRIN. We had a ridiculous run on it from, sub 2 here where it was, for quite a while. And then it just got a gap up and just started pushing on news. It's really low float. Let's see, 15 million float. And on these days, the volume's over 160 million. This is 320 million volume, 354 actually. So the volume was just insane on it for a while. It just was squeezing and squeezing over again. People trying to guess the top on it and short it and just getting squeezed out and just float rotation. So I thought we were going to get another big run here because of all the volume it had. I figured we probably don't have too many bag holders left just because of the float rotation that we've got on it. It's only a 15 mil float, and then even, these 2 days here, after it had its giant sell-off, you've got a $46 million or 46 million volume day, and then 58 million volume on this day. I'm sure that there are still people holding from these $20 levels that are just, I'm not really sure what they're thinking at that point. So maybe that had to do with kind of the failed move today. People just happy to see it back up at that $10 level. If you bought, on any of these on its way down here, even if you bought at 12, 15, 17, I'm just happy that it's, up above 5 again and taking the profits there. But all in all, at the end of the day, the amount of volume we got today was insane. So I was really hoping for, like I said, a push, a push through 11 was what I was hoping for after we had these pre-market highs. Just keep kind of tapping that $11 level, and it ended up just selling off, right out of the gate. Like I said, similar to CRVS, this first minute it got a push towards 11, didn't even make it to 11, and then just sold off, for the entire rest of the day there. I was kind of looking at a 950 level. I thought we might get a little bit of a bounce there. And I mean, I didn't try to take it, thankfully, and that level did not hold whatsoever. And so then, just like CRVS, you do have, after that, first fail, you do have a couple nice dip buy opportunities here, especially, off of this low, and then you get a nice little bounce, and then it revisits basically the same one. You do have this one wick that goes below 850, but for the most part, it stayed and held those lows. And then you get a nice move back to that 950 level, $1 a share move. And then once again, I really thought that once it pushed back through 950 here and through VWAP at the same time, I thought that we were actually going to get a nice run from it. And that was just a fake out and failed. I mean, I didn't try to get into it just because of the time. And, I tended not to trade between 11 and 1, 11 and 2-ish. I've mentioned that before. So just the time of the day for me, I just watched it, and it failed. And then again, though, you get another nice dip buy there if you want to take it. Really tight risk down at just 850 or the end of that bottom wick, 843, and then another almost dollar push. It is definitely still in play. It's chopping around here at around 870. So we could get a nice red to green move on it tomorrow. I think it closed up in the 920 area. And so, I think if it can get back over, push back through 9 and go green tomorrow, we could get some good action out of it, but we'll see how it holds up in pre-market tomorrow. And then let's see, we have NNVC here, which I talked about yesterday. It had news. It was halted for most of the day with the pending news, and then we got a crazy move on it. But like I said, just like, almost everything I was watching this morning, waiting for that red to green move, we got it in pre-market through VWAP, and then it failed to get, back over. I was really hoping for a push up to 7. Just because it was, we had all this action kind of bouncing up off of 7, and then after hours high of 7 yesterday, pre-market couldn't really fight through it. So this green line here is just my alert, just if it was kind of creeping towards 7. But eventually, and just the fact that it went green, went through VWAP and didn't even reach 7, and then faded and was back red at the open below VWAP, I did just stay away from it. But, just like MRIN and CRVS, you get this nice kind of support build up here on the first low a day. You get another dip there, another dip there. And these moves aren't that great, but I mean, they are, solid 10% moves. Nothing crazy, but solid trades, good singles there from, the 530 level, 525-ish. And then, about a 50-cent move, a little bit more than that actually, into the 580s. And this first kind of spike there was 575. So you do have a couple options there. It's just kind of funny to watch, how today played out and to go over all of these plays. Because the reason that I kind of took a step back for the last week or two was because I was trying to play these afternoon plays where you're getting a lower high, or I'm sorry, a higher low and a higher low and a higher low and a higher low. And that was, a pattern that I was really liking for a couple months there. I strung together, a few good wins off of this pattern, and then kind of getting a squeeze in the last couple hours of the market. And then I, a couple weeks ago took 5 or 6 straight losses on this, and the mornings were really hot. So it's just kind of funny that, now I'm trying to play the morning, and that afternoon pattern seems to be coming back a little bit. But just with, how the SPY has been recently, the huge sell-off that we had on Monday, when things are red on the day and below VWAP right now, I'm not really touching them. If you're not kind of aware of what's going on with China, I would recommend reading up on that. Just a giant real estate company there with billions of dollars in debt that's about to be faulted on, and that's why SPY had its huge sell-off on Monday. So I don't know, with just that bad news, people are a little bit scared right now, red and below VWAP, and I just, not the market conditions for me to try to look for a squeeze. But we'll see. I mean, if it keeps working for the rest of this week and, Monday of next week or Monday and Tuesday of next week, and it kind of proves that the pattern is back, maybe I'll hop back into it. But right now, I think I'm better off kind of leaving it alone, and hopefully we get some better morning spikes there. And then EDSA, was another one that had ran just yesterday, and I was looking for this on a red to green as well, which we did not get in the morning, and I kind of regret I set my alert too close to that red to green move at 8:30, basically 8:33 and a half, when the red to green was at 8:36. And so it was really a liquid. So I actually, right after we got this sell off and all this volume dried up, I just closed out of it. And I mean, I had my alert on it, but by the time I got the alert and opened it, it was already at $9. So I was like, I'm not gonna chase this all the way up here. But once again, you got that first low, higher low, and then this finally hit the squeeze, and that's a really solid move of almost $1 in 5 minutes or so, maybe 10, but just shot up. And so I don't know, it really surprised me because we have some candles here, or some time with literally zero volume, and in just how much volume we've been getting in the market the last year and a half or so has been insane. I think I actually heard from a podcast or a video I was watching yesterday from the Steady Trade team. I'd recommend checking them out if you're new to trading. That the volume now, we're at only 20% of volume that we were getting at, I don't know, like 6 months ago or however many months ago. But the fact of the matter is just the volume this month, only 20%, and not 20% less, 80% less, a total of 20% of the volume that we were getting, previously. So it's just, I just kind of, when I see this illiquid, I can't really call it illiquid because in most markets before kind of COVID hit and we got a new wave of traders in, this is good volume on a day, but just recently this is not very much. So I closed out of it, and then all of a sudden the volume poured in and you get a huge squeeze there on EDSA, but the volume dried up again. So I'm not sure if this will be in play tomorrow. I mean, we'll see what it does. This is one that I don't really have a plan on. As you can see, my alert's set all the way up here for a break of 10. So we'd really, if we would have held this $9 level, or even these 8.75, that would be a completely different story. That would definitely be in play tomorrow. But the fact that we got the squeeze and then went back red on the day, I'm not sure. We'll see what we get tomorrow morning. And LPTX was another one that we just got. This was one I got caught up on CRVS, so I didn't play this, but this was actually probably the better play. Not just because it went up 40 cents or so a share on a $3 stock. That's a solid move, but this one was actually still red when we opened, but above VWAP, and so that's really the ideal setup for that red to green move. And unfortunately I just didn't have my eyes on it, and we got that pop and then just faded off all day, and then we got a nice late day action. I just kind of wrote it off, so nothing there for me. But that is another, from 305 up to the 330, 338 level. So I think this one is also still going to be in play, but we'll see there. And then let's see, we've got a couple more here. Today I was watching quite a bit. Ader is one that I've been watching, but something about it has just kind of made me not want to play it at all. So this is a 15-day, 5-minute chart. You can see we got, a big run up here to that $20 level. And so, oops, where did that line just go? I didn't even know that I could do that. All right, that's interesting. So yeah, we had these highs of 14 yesterday, and unfortunately we were already above them. I didn't want to chase it up at the open, already pushing 15. But once again, I mean, I was tied up all kind of morning from 10 to 11 here, or 10 to like 10:30, 10:45. But this would have been a great opportunity to buy right on that support of 14. And I mean, you get a pop to 15, 20, $1 a share move. It's not quite 10% on a stock at $14, but it's probably like 7-8% or something like that. It's a solid single. And then the thing about it though is it comes back to this 14 level, and respects it all day long. And then this is the real play here, which I really regret missing this one, but I had another thing for work at 3, so I wasn't really looking to trade the afternoon, but that was just perfect. Really small risk there, and then just a nice run into after hours up to 1850. So this one is definitely still in play tomorrow. It does have a 32 million float, but with 97 volume on the day, I mean, there's definitely action there. IRNT is another one that I had on watch for that easy red to green move, but I don't know, I think this one might be kind of done. As you can see here, if we just look even at the volume when we got this huge run up to, $60, which is just insane. Look at the volume that we're getting on these days, and then the volume that we had today was worse than, almost any other day since its big spike here. We did have a really slow day here on it, which kind of, I think, really set up the squeeze. But I just shopped around today. It'll still be in play for me, but I don't know. I don't really like these $30 stocks too much. We'll see how it hangs around. And then FRSH is a different play than I, really have ever talked about so far. But it was an IPO today, and so a good strategy that I like to use on IPOs, on day one IPOs at least, is going to the 5-minute candles or even 15-minute candles, but typically 5, and then you just kind of play, off of the first 5-minute high, or the 15 probably works a little bit better, just because, I mean, this one you do get a nice dip down to 43, and then it comes back and breaks through that high of 45, and you get a nice run. And so then we set that high at 47.50, and this IPO'd a little bit after noon today. So we get a break of 47.50, but just get stuffed at 48. And then we do eventually get back over 48 here, but just not enough strength for it. Let me see. And we do have, we got decent volume on it for the day, considering it was only trading for half of the day. We got 20 million something volume, 20 million on 28.5 float. But IPOs are always interesting. I kind of hope that this comes back down in the pre-market and that we can get a, push through 48.50. If not, if it's over 48.50 tomorrow, just playing breaks of that pre-market high, whatever that is. Or if it's above VWAP and breaking high a day, that's always another good option there. But let's see. Yeah, so if you go to the 15-minute candle, you get a high of 47.5. It did break through it, but if you're paying 47.50 per share, you're not looking for a 50-cent move. I don't even know what percent that is, but it's not good, obviously. So yeah, it just didn't really have the momentum behind it, but definitely still in play. But yeah, I just wanted to go over some things since I didn't have a trade directly to dive into. Just what I was watching, kind of what the market's bringing to us. Hopefully, help someone out, point something out to somebody, teach somebody something, and if anyone saw something different today, or had a good trade today, let me know what you were looking at, and see you guys next time.